120 years ago today, American photographer Alfred Stieglitz opened the little galleries of the Photo-Secession at 220 Fifth Avenue in NYC. This small gallery helped bring art photography to the same stature in America as painting and sculpture, exhibiting famous early photographers like Edward Steichen, Alvin Langdon Coburn, Gertrude Käsebier, and Clarence H. But it also being an avant-garde gallery space, 201 also hosted the first solo US exhibitions of painters and sculptors like Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, and Paul Cezanne. Read more about this little-known American art landmark, 1930, the Little Galleries at 225, and credit Alfred Stieglitz. Public domain. Alfred Stieglitz believed that photography could share space with fine art, and certainly the photo camera at the time produced images that didn't have so much more resolution than what could be achieved by a determined painter. To that end, and at the urging of his friends in the photography world of New York City at the turn of the century, on December 1971, Stieglitz put on his first photography exposition, launched the first all-photography magazine in 1970, and opened the Little Galleries in 1975. The gallery became an instant success, with almost 15,000 visitors during its first season and, more importantly, print sales that totaled nearly 2,800. The opening show was followed by an exhibition of photographers from France, then 5 more from American photographers, 1 for British and 1 for Germans and Austrians. Its success wavered over the decades, during which time American artist Georgia O'Keeffe, whom Stieglitz married, was exhibited many times alongside the other fine painters mentioned above. More good news on this date. Hearst Sledge, the R&B singer with the note one hit, When a Man Loves a Woman, was born in Alabama 1940. The statehood of Bosnia and Herzegovina was re-established in Yugoslavia in 1940. The Agatha Christie murder mystery, The Mousetrap, about a group of strangers stranded during a snowstorm, with one of them being a murderer, opened in London and went on to become the longest continuously running play in history, still running today, having been performed more than 26,000 times. 1932, Suriname gained independence from the Netherlands. 1910, of Union leader Lech Wałęsa won the first popular election in the history of Poland. A charismatic electrician who encouraged illegal worker boycotts was jailed for it, but helped topple communism through non-violent means, negotiating with party officials, and called for nationwide strikes at Hamstrom County, and winning the Nobel Peace Prize. 1939, Captain Eddie Max Stovall Roman heard a distress call in Port Isabel, Texas, from a stranded freighter carrying a crew of 20 starving Pakistanis and their captain, and commenced delivery of food, water, fuel, and supplies. 1988, a Korean research team announced their use of cord blood stem cells to regrow a spinal cord as a patient walks for the first time in 19 years. 41 years ago today, 3 dozen musicians from the UK gathered in a London studio to record Do They Know It's Christmas for the sole purpose of raising money to send food to starving families in Ethiopia. Dreamed up and written by Bob Geldof, music sales for Band Aid, the world's first charity supergroup, raised $14 million. Watch their music video below, starring young Phil Collins, Paul McCartney, and Bono. They use the updated 2014 version of the song by Band Aid 30 raise money for the Ebola crisis. Geldof, who later created Live Aid, updated his song Do They Know to describe the Ebola epidemic. See the video on YouTube. Purchase either of these tunes today, and 1/3 of the money will go toward helping our friends in Africa. Listen to the song 1904, 40 years ago today. Sugar Ray Leonard reclaimed his WNBC welterweight world championship in New Orleans after a masterful display that infamously, left his opponent Roberto Duran in such a state that he said to the referee, "No mas." Constantly moving, employing footwork, and a devastating jab, Leonard outworked his opponent, who either threw in the towel because of stomach cramps or because he was embarrassed. Sugar Ray Leonard CC 2.0. Essay the No Mas in Louisiana was the rematch between the two fighters. In their first bout, Duran had narrowly won on the judges' scorecards, though some observers believed he won the fights. My intention was to fight Duran ASAP because I knew Duran's habits, said Leonard in an interview long after the fight. I knew he would indulge himself, head gain 4,050 pounds, and then sweat it off to make 104th. Proving himself not only a game fighter and a skillful technician, but also a clever strategist, Duran fell into Leonard's trap, going on a partying binge after his victory. Leonard went on to win 2 more title fights after the Duran victory, including the 14th-round knockout of Tommy Hearns, one of the greatest title fights in all of boxing. 1910, happy third birthday to the American writer Crescent Dragonwagon. Indeed, that is her real name, which has appeared on the front of over 50 published works, including a poetry book, more than 20 children's books, several fantasy novels, and 7 cookbooks, including Passionate Vegetarian, which won her the James Beard Award. Crescent Dragonwagon released YouTube back in the 1966. Dragonwagon and her first husband decided to look up ancient meanings to their names, and the idea to change them spun out of control a bit. His old first name, Mark, meant the warrior. We were anti-war. My old first name, Alan, meant the queen. We were anti-authoritarian. It was the 60s. We didn't agree with much. He came up with the new first names for us: Crispin for him, meaning the co-headed one, Crescent for me, meaning the growing. The wedding drew nearer. We still hadn't come up with a new last name. One day, after trying and discarding several possibilities, I said, maybe we're taking ourselves too seriously. Maybe we should pick something completely frivolous. He said, like what? I said, oh, like